So basically, we are starting with the section 1 and the chapter 1 of ACST taxation, that is tax UK system, administration system, basically, which you are going to understand. This topic cannot be done after any other topic. So this is like the first one. This is the starter topic of this entire syllabus. So one thing, now I'm having my study hub in front. Okay. So what every student first of all needs to do is that they need to go through all of these things at first, for which, we have done the orientation earlier. So here everything is present in PDF format as well. So they have started like from here, the copyright thing, you can skip that. You can go on and, how to use this study hub, what are the definitions, example, exhibits. Like this is something really at the start of every of the syllabus, the students should know these things. And obviously teachers also tell these things. Then we have all the essentials. So they have given a one pager here, which you can go through at the start of the syllabus as well and at the end as well. So then you will understand, all the links. Then next,
Yeah.
we are having this guide, which I've already provided, and it is there on the ACCA website as well. So for this Finance Act, for this fiscal year, 26-27 basically. So this is basically the attempt year. This is not the fiscal year. So Finance Act 2025 is examined in these years, in this year. So in all of these attempts. So this thing, you can already take it from here, simply download. Then these are your exam. See, Finance Act 2025. So many students just get confused into this thing, that which attempt is like, what is the attempt, what is the financial year, or what is it. So I will just tell you very quickly, which you can write down as well. We are going to give the exam of Finance Act 2025 that has already passed. This started on 6th April 2025 and ended on 5th April 2026. Now you are going to appear in either, obviously June has passed, so you will appear in September. Like till June 2027, this one is relevant. So basically, when we talk about the attempt years, we are talking about June 26-27. But when we talk about the rules of HMRC, we are following Finance Act 2025. So this makes fiscal year 25-26. Is this clear?
Yeah, so like in the finance rules, we're always 1 year behind.
Exactly. Yes,
Okay,
we are
that's
1
fine.
year behind. Obviously, because examiner cannot examine you on present or future.
Yeah,
It will always
yeah.
examine you on past. Okay. So
Yeah, yeah.
next, then these are your tax rates. So these are your tax rates for your attempts. It is also given to you here, which you can refer every time you do practice in your CB practice platform, as well as if you're doing your practice on paper. So you don't need to learn anything from here. So many students ask me this thing, that what should we do? Only practice, and you will already know that what is the answer of 37,700 multiplied by 20% when you will practice it. So here you only need to learn the application, that when you have to apply this basic rate, when you have to apply this higher rate.
Okay.
Our class 2 student can also do this thing. If you will ask a class 4 student or 5 that multiply 37,700 by 20%, he will also tell you the answer.
Yeah.
But what is the difference between a tax student and a class 5 student? That is, you should know how to apply it, or what is the
And
implication
when.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so like that entire tax table, you have to understand with these thoughts. Then moving forward, these are your skills that is required in attempting your CB. So you already work like in an organization where you must be working, across all of these things. So this is very important, like nowadays. This video you can watch out. It just relates to the deadlines and penalties. This thing you need to remember. So now it all depends upon that how good your memory is. So I'll share my experience when I was like a tax student. So I covered this topic at the end when I was near the exam, because I wanted to remember this. So
Okay.
so that depends. It doesn't mean that you should do it in the start. You can do this in the end as well. And now when I teach as well, I keep it in the end. Okay, ACCA has given a video at the start. You want to see, you can watch it, but we will do this topic properly at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Then there are some other resources, like, so you can go on. Now coming towards this visual overview, this mind map thing. Now I will discuss all of this thing one by one, and if you want to note down anything, you can note that down. Now, syllabus scope stands upon 2 points. purpose of tax and the relevant taxes. So what is like the purpose of tax? Why UK government has applied tax on the people, or any other government does this thing? We are talking generically, not related to UK tax system as well. The number one thing, the very first I should identify the pointer of the purpose is that it's the government revenue basically. Now, why
Yeah.
do they want to earn? Now, basically, if you earn 50,000, I earn 1 lakh, and there are so many variety of people in the economy that earn differently. So, one
Yeah.
of the economic objective of the government is that they want to reduce poverty. So, if
Yes.
there are some rich people in the economy, they will tax them accordingly. So, that's why they levy a system by which they can carry out the what shall I say? They can carry out the activities for the public as well. Now, the one whose income is less, he cannot buy all those things which a rich person can. So, but
Yeah.
now what will they do? Government will collect all the tax from all the people, so they will build up roads, right? These type of commodities, these type of products, they will build up. So, this is the purpose of tax, basically to what shall I say? Like to bridge the gap between the rich and poor. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there are relevant taxes which they have jotted down over here. Now, these are all of the topics of ACCA taxation. So, income tax. Now, what is income tax? I'll just tell you in a brief thing. Income tax is basically that kind of tax which is levied on the individual's income. And income means all sources of income, whether you have savings income, you have shares in a company, you are earning dividends through that, all type of income is taxed here. So when we will study this topic, so you will understand that there are so many sources of income and how HMRC accounts for them in terms of taxation. So they have
What is
different
HMRC?
HMRC, His Majesty Revenue and Customs. Just like in Pakistan, we have FBR. In UK, we have HMRC, who is
So
basically
the tax authority?
yeah, tax authority. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Then I was talking about the income tax thing. So whether you are, self-employed, you have a job, and there are so many scenarios which we will discuss. So all of those things will be considered here, counted here, and income tax will be applied and calculated. Then next is capital gains tax. Capital gains tax basically means when you are, you have any capital asset and you have sold it. So if you are earning any gains through that, that is also taxed. I'll just give you a very quick example. Let's say if I have jewelry. Okay. So jewelry is that item which is passed from generations to generations. So
Yeah.
over here, yeah. So, that is also counted as a capital asset. So what will happen, like if my cost was, let's say 50,000 and now the market value is 120 or whatever sale proceeds I have. So that chargeable gain will also be taxed under the rules. So all these topics have different rules which you need to remember and apply. Then
Okay.
IST, inheritance tax. So if there's some cases of property, like, you are inheriting something from your ancestors, so that is also taxed. Corporation tax, this is the company's taxation. So companies are taxed over their profits. So we will be studying their computations as well. We have all the performers related to all of these topics, that how we are going to calculate these taxes. So I will provide all of those performers as well, which we'll be doing on Excel. Then value added tax. So this is an indirect taxation. When you will purchase something, then you will pay it. For example, in Pakistan, we have GST. In Dubai, I think they have also started this VAT thing. So there's a percentage related to it. So it's an indirect taxation. Unless or
Yeah.
until you will not buy a product, you don't need to pay this.
Okay.
We will study VAT from individual's perspective as well as from a supplier's perspective too. I will tell you all the roles first of all, that in which character you have to study a topic. And do
Yeah,
not
okay.
think that it is a very simple thing. Basically, this exam is trying to make you a tax accountant. It means that you can calculate your own tax as well. Okay. I do calculate my own taxes as well. Okay. Like I studied this, I became a teacher of it. So now this, besides providing the taxation facilities to other companies or individuals, I can do it for myself as well. So every student has, like, ACCA enables every student to think like that.
To be a tax agent?
Exactly. Yes, you can. After you will pass taxation and advanced taxation, you can provide your services in UK to any of the individual or the company that you can make up the tax return. Basically, this is all the components of a tax return,
Okay.
right? Then coming towards the tax law, basically everything is defined by a law. Nobody can do this, up to their own will. There are the rules and everything. So who has made up this law and who is responsible for all this thing? HMRC. So the Finance Act, which we are studying, and the tax table, which you will see, all of those rates ACCA has taken from the HMRC website, and those are real. Okay.
Yeah.
Now moving forward towards other topics. Now taxable, I just told you this thing. What are tax years? What is accounting periods and what are tax periods? Okay. So these are the terminologies which are assigned with every topic. So whenever we will talking about the accounting periods, it means we are talking about the company taxation that they have prepared their financial statements. For example, if I say XYZ Limited, there's a company and they have made up their accounts calendar year wise. So it means they are following January to December.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
their fiscal year.
Yes. That's not their fiscal year. That's their financial year.
Financially.
Okay. Fiscal year is same for all. It's
Oh,
from
okay.
6th April 2025 till 5th April 2026. You are making up your own financial statements, and this is HMRC, like tax authorities will not bound you that you have to make it to tax year. They will simply say this is your company policy. Okay. Every company has their own policy, like whatever account they want to make it for 3 months, they are allowed. They want to make it for 6 months, they are allowed. So how tax will be calculated? There are rules. We will study them when we will study this topic. So this is like this thing, like tax status. Okay. I live in Pakistan. Do I have to pay UK tax?
No,
Why?
because your revenue is not earned in back in UK.
And more importantly than the revenue thing is where you belong, residence status. This is
Okay.
also checked every year. For example, I went to UK for 3 months and I did not do something over there, or I did something over there. So basically, then I came back to Pakistan. So they will say me, you have come to my country for 3 months, pay me tax. No,
Yeah.
they will check the status of your residence, and if you are UK resident, then you will pay the tax. So for that purpose, we have double taxation agreements as well between the countries, so that no employee or company should be double taxed.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay, this is also an entire topic which we will study. So I have made up some, what shall I say, ties test over there. Make it easy for the student to understand that you need to only see the days, how many days you have spent in UK, and according to that, you will decide whether this is a resident or not resident. 2 till 4 marks come in your exam from this topic, for sure. So our target is not to lose it. Now coming towards the administration. So tax authority, HMRC, self-assessment, you can calculate your own tax yourself and then give it to HMRC. So now everything is electronic. Simply there are performers, there are the tax returns things on the website. So simply individual will check his or her tax, prepare the return and submit it to HMRC. So yeah, then there are advisors as well, and there are so many questions in ACCA taxation where examiner will ask you, imagine, consider yourself as a professional tax advisor. So you have to advise as well. So after studying this entire syllabus and passing the exam, you will be on the level to provide professional tax advisory services,
Okay.
like recommendations, suggestions, what should people do, like that. Then there are two important concepts in this: tax evasion and avoidance. Now just let me ask you, what do you think out of these two, which one is legal?
Avoidance
Yes.
is legal.
Yes. Tax avoidance simply means that you have those planning techniques that
Yeah,
you were
you
out-
find
you- yeah,
loopholes.
exactly. You were able to avoid the tax, means save the tax. And
Yeah.
evasion is like you have all those techniques,
Illegal, yeah.
techniques, yeah. And then in both cases, results are the same, zero tax.
Yeah.
But it's all about your intention and your
Yeah.
actions as well. Okay. Okay, let's move forward.
Wait, can you go back? I'm writing down. By the way, the page didn't load for me. I don't know why.
Sorry.
The page didn't log for me.
Page does not look. Screen
It
is not
doesn't-
visible.
No, no. I tried to log in using your
Okay.
credentials, right?
Okay.
Then it didn't load.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe after the class you can see that, and
Yeah,
meanwhile,
we'll
if
see.
if you're okay with it, you can see the screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Now here the thing which I told you, that what is the purpose of taxation in a modern economy. So now the economy in which we are living, this is categorized as a modern economy by the economists. So tax has two main economic roles. Number one, funding of government expenditure. Number two, a tool for macroeconomic management. And this is the same thing where I told you they have to bridge the gap between the poor and the rich. Okay.
Yeah.
So exactly. Then now the social objectives. So basically now they are coming around the UK tax now. So UK tax system, what do they encourage? Individual saving and pension provision by offering tax incentives. What does this mean? Now listen this thing very carefully. I have, let's say, 50,000 pounds of my income and I'm spending it all. Okay, it is my will. Like, I'm doing it up to my wish. Whatever I want to buy, I did it, and I spent all my money. UK tax system, they are encouraging you not to spend all your money. They are saying that save. So I go to them and I ask that where should I save? So they are saying we have the pension schemes. Save over here. I'll ask them why should I save? Like why should I give my money to you? So they are saying we are offering you tax incentives. It means they are not going to. Does that mean that they are not going to charge me tax on savings? No, it does not mean this, but it means they will charge me reduced tax. If I will, yes, if I will invest in pension schemes, it means that I will get some incentive, some savings or some rewards. So UK tax system encourages to save. So many people in UK save that. So there are some benefits. There are some old age benefits as well. So we will learn as we will proceed with the syllabus. Next, then they are encouraging me to do the donations.
Yeah.
So then what am I going to get by these donations? Definitely, again, I'm going to get some incentive. Then they
Reduce tax.
Yeah, reduce tax, and there are some other incentives as well. Then entrepreneurs and the businessman, they are also giving them tax relief. It means that they want the businessmen to invest in UK.
Yeah.
So they are also giving them tax reliefs, so these are all of the they are basically pushing up these people to do these actions. So people will do this thing to earn these incentives. Like there are some obviously going to be savings. Now they discourage what? They discourage motoring by imposing fuel duties. What is this motoring? This simply means that you have a motorbike or you have a petrol car or something like that. So if you are polluting the environment, they will apply fuel duties on it. Smoking and drinking, so they will put on the taxes on this thing. So this thing is done like everywhere in the world entirely. So they don't want their people to do these things.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you must have heard about the environmental thing, green issues. Everybody is like, don't, in EY as well, we have this thing that do not take out, printouts, do all electronically. Yeah. So it's like in UK as well. They have done the same things. So taxation policy can also impact green issues through the imposition of a climate change levy or landfill tax. So they have applied taxes on those companies or people who are not following this. So when you will apply car tax on someone, why will a government apply car tax? You are doing high carbon dioxide emissions. So now government wants you to reduce it. Basically, pollute the environment less. So this is their aim, and they are doing that over there. This is the thing. So overall amount of tax revenue is a political decision. Government has to balance its own financing needs for its spending programs with a strategic decision on the balance between the size of the public and private sector. Once an overall total tax yield is your tax output. So specific ways have to be seen. Now this is like a very, very basic topic, direct tax and the indirect tax. Just like I told you that indirect taxes are applied when you will buy that good or service. Until or unless you will not buy it, you don't need to pay. Okay. But once you buy that product, so this is automatically added into it. And when you pay the price, so that is VAT inclusive.
Yeah.
Okay. And direct taxes are those which are levied on your income. For example, when you will get your salary, you never get a gross salary. you will get your net salary. So your tax gets deducted by your employer and then they submit it to HMRC. So
Okay,
direct,
so in the UK, the employer himself like deducts and
yes,
files the tax for me.
yes,
Okay,
yes, yes. In Pakistan
that
also we have this, yeah.
okay.
So direct taxes are levied on income, chargeable gains, and capital transfers. It means that income tax and the CGT, they are in the direct tax. Like, see, I'm talking about this. So income tax and CGT is direct tax. VAT is an indirect tax.
Okay.
So direct taxes include, they have given you a list over here which you needs to remember. So income tax, NIC, CGT, IST, corporation, they are all the direct taxes, only VAT is indirect.
1 second.
Okay.
Okay.
So now it's up to the countries. What do they do? Like you want to make a combination of these taxes wherever in, these are all the situations and the events where individuals or companies go through. So how they have to make it up, it's all the country policy. This is all your fiscal policy that you have to make it all up. So if you want your people not to drink alcohol, you have to apply tax over it. Otherwise, they will
Yeah.
not stop. So tobacco products and all the things like that. So another
Yeah, yeah.
decision balances the rates of tax against the width of the taxpayer. Now, for example, one more thing I'll tell you: there is a person, let's say, who has been earning high since 5 years, and there is a person who is not up to that level earning high tax year. So if government is going to charge them the same percentage, so the one who is earning low will pay low, right? And the one who's earning high will pay high tax
Yeah.
on the same percentage. So like that wise, you can make up your system, whether it's a proportional taxation, progressive or regressive, like that. So what are capital taxes? Taxes on assets owned rather than earned. I have a house, capital tax. I have a
Yeah.
car, capital tax. And revenue taxes are like, daily basis on your income and profits, just like we studied income tax and the corporation tax. So HMRC is like, earning that revenue and all such stuff with that. And this is more like an investment. Okay.
Yeah.
Now here comes, see, this is examinable. So now, income tax, like I told you, what is income tax? It is applied on employment income, self-employment income, and investment income.
So this I
Because-
need to memorize?
Yes, you
Okay.
need to understand. So you know what is, when you will complete this income tax topic, you would have already studied these topics. You do a job, you have an income, so you will pay tax. You do your
Yeah.
business, you have an income, you will pay tax. You have investment income, you will pay tax. Now this is a direct tax, right?
Yeah.
And it is your revenue. It will categorize into revenue because this is not any asset. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just need to understand this principle and then you will apply this all. Corporation tax. Companies are paying the tax on their profits and gains direct, because I told you every tax is direct except VAT.
Except VAT, yeah.
Yes. So this thing, I think this table should be very clear to you.
Yeah.
Capital and revenue. Capital is levied on the owned assets. So in income tax, you don't own your job.
Yeah, it's
Right?
revenue.
Revenue tax. Even in self-employment income, you own your business, but again, you own your business. This is like not, you are not basically like, if you will be paying your tax on the business, that will be categorized into capital. But here you are paying tax on your income. That's why it's revenue. Okay. Then company, so it will be categorized into both. CGT, I told you this is capital because it relates to the assets. Like, jewelry example I gave. IST, same, because it is on your wealth.
Yeah.
This is not your income. Okay. VAT, this is not going to be categorized into any of it because this is an indirect taxation. And NICs is simply like, what shall I say? If you, there are some classes of NIC, we will study in that topic. So it is similar to income tax. These two are combined together, income tax and NICs. So
Okay.
basically, this is like you are contributing into insurance, and in UK, it is mandatory to contribute in insurance.
Yeah, here too.
Yeah. So let's read something about income tax there outside. Just like I told you, income arises within UK. You can't pay tax like, from earning in Pakistan and, UK government will be asking you taxation. No. So the two criteria, this is the criteria. You have earned in the premises of the UK or income arises outside of the UK and the person is UK resident. Got it?
So even if a UK resident is
Yes.
working abroad, they're still
Exactly.
subjected to
Yes,
income
yes,
tax.
yes.
But is the rate different?
No, you have understood it correctly. You are a UK resident and you are basically earning outside the UK. You are still in the UK income tax band because you
but
are their national.
do they get charged different rates or the same rate?
Same rates, same rates.
Okay.
CGT, liability to UK CGT is established if the gain arises inside or outside the UK. So it doesn't matter whether you are in or out. You know what people do? Just think like that. Now, what will people do? They will be UK resident and they will go to some other country and say that, oh, we have sold this asset outside the UK. So, but you have purchased it inside the UK.
Yeah.
So likewise, in order to cater such things, they have simply made the rule that if you are UK resident, you fall into this.
Okay.
This thing they will see later on. Yeah. IST, liability is established if the transfer is located inside of the UK. Again, same thing. So transfer is a long-term resident in the UK. It means that he has been living for more than 10 or 20 years. To that we call as long-term resident.
Okay.
And in your exam, they're simply giving you that they will give you the questions in which the person will be in UK. Okay, simple.
So if the person that passed away has been living in 10 or 20 years, or the receiver?
Receiver, yes, an inherited person.
What about if the person that passed away and he's giving it to someone outside the UK, not a UK resident?
Okay. This thing I'll tell you. Okay, let me explain you this thing. With your exam perspective, what you are asking is not applicable. Okay, examiner has told you, but for your knowledge purpose, that person is actually a deceased person. He's a transferor. Okay.
Okay.
So transferor is also like you see certain transferor is a long-term resident.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Okay, then for companies taxation, now the companies are also UK resident or not. Obviously, we check for them as well. So we check the resident status of the companies as well, where they were made or no, where are their head offices, where there are branches, their entire network. So liability to UK corporation tax on income or chargeable gains is established if again income or gain is in the UK, okay, or it is outside the UK and the company is UK resident. Simple, just like individuals, criteria is same. They have just changed the wordings, but meaning is same. Okay.
Okay.
Then this is very simple. Obviously, you will have to buy the products from UK. So if the place of supply is UK, this is applicable. Now, this thing I already explained you, 6th April 2025 to 5th April. This is called your tax year.
Wait,
So all
6
of your
April to, okay.
yeah, all of your questions will be based on this. We call this 25-26, okay, like 1 year back, just like I told you. So this is the thing. So they are just telling you that all the questions related to every topic will be in these dates. This accounting period thing, just like I told you. So corporation tax is assessed for the accounting period. This period can never exceed 12 months in length and is usually the same as the period of account for which the company prepares its annual financial statements. Period of account can be longer or shorter depending upon the company policy. I'm a company and I want to make my accounts for 16 months. I can do that. It's up to me. I want to reduce my administration cost and I just combine of the things, or it's up to the CFO or the CEO that how do they look into the things, how they want to see 12 months, 6 months, 3 months, quarter wise, weekly, whatever. That's your period of account. But corporation tax, it relates to your accounting period. So you will have to pay tax for all the periods. You can't skip. You can delay that based on your company policy, but you can't skip. So financial year, see, they have started from 1st April to 31st March. So financial year 2025 is the year ended 31st March. But what about your fiscal year? It is ending on 5th April. So we will have to make up the relations of these dates when we will do this topic.
Do I have to write it down? 1 second. 1
No, no.
April.
Yeah, you can write the dates. If you want to remember,
Okay.
you can write it.
Yeah, financial year is 1 April to 30th March.
2025. 1st April 2025 to 31st March 2026. This is a financial year.
Okay. And what's the other period did we discuss? Fiscal?
Fiscal year, yeah.
It's what?
6th April.
Oh, so fiscal is the same as the tax year?
No, yes. Fiscal is the same as tax year, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But what's the difference in terms of terminology of tax and fiscal year?
Nothing, no the difference. It's same.
Same? Okay.
Yeah, same. VAT is like there for a 3 months period. So we we have the questions based on the quarters. Okay. Nothing here to do. One thing just to read out or understand here is we have discussed this thing all. One thing, just this line is important. An individual who is UK resident is taxed on worldwide income. So if he's a UK resident and wherever he's earning, inside or outside, he will be assessed on this. He will be taxed on your worldwide income. Okay? Because he's a UK resident. And a person who is not a UK resident, he will be liable to UK tax only if he is earning in the UK. Like you
Yeah.
and I. Okay?
Yeah, if we go work there, yeah.
Yes.
Only for the period we're there. Okay.
Yes. That is called the residence thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And long-term residence is not in your taxation UK. Okay, so you don't need to worry about it.
Okay.
Now here comes the residence of an individual. Now this is like a topic to study and to understand. Okay, now there are some things over here which you need to understand. Now what we are doing here, what's the purpose of this topic? We are assessing whether a person is a resident or not. So number one thing, determination of residence is achieved by application of a statutory. So HMRC has created a test which is called a residence test, in which this is like having 3 stages. And out of these stages, we check a person whether he is going to be a resident for that year or not. Now, number one thing is automatically treated as not resident or automatically UK resident, or we will go do a TIES test. So 3 things.
TIES test. Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Now, what comes in the automatic overseas test? This automatic overseas test result in the individual being treated as not UK resident in the current tax year. Overseas means that this person is a non-UK resident. How will we know that a person is a non-UK resident? We will know this thing if the individual was UK resident in any of the previous 3 tax years. Now we are in the tax year, for example, 26-27. Currently, I'm talking about today. So we are in this tax year, and now I'm deciding that whether Sahar is a UK resident or not a UK resident. So HMRC will see my previous 3 tax years, where I have been. If I have been to UK in last 3 years, and these are the tax years, okay? If I have been into the last 3 years and fewer than 16 days, I have only spent 14 days. I just only been into a vacation of 7 days, let's say. So I will be categorized as a non-UK resident. Clear?
Yeah.
For the purpose of the statutory, a day in the UK usually means being present in the UK at midnight. Like this is something automatic because you are spending entire day 24 hours. Okay?
Yeah.
Next. If the individual was not UK resident in any of the previous 3 tax years, like I've never been to UK. Okay, so in the last 3 tax years, but they're talking about if the person has not gone and fewer than 46 days are spent in the UK. Like let's say I have gone to UK for the first time for 14 days only or for 45 days only, and I have never visited it before. I will be a non-UK. It means that everyone can go to UK for 45 days, okay? Like after every 3 years, and you will not be counted as a resident. Got it?
Okay, but if we went for 45 days every year
Then
consecutively,
here, this thing
okay.
will need to be checked in.
Hmm.
Because you are, yeah, and first thing depends na whether you are resident or not. Now what will happen? Now apply it on real life. Let's suppose that on in like I never went to UK. Okay, in the 3 tax years I went for the first time. I spent 45 days. I'm a non-UK resident. Second year I can do this thing for 3 years, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Number 3, if the individual is working full time overseas with no significant breaks, with fewer than 91 days spent in the UK. So now, if you have got a job or something, so 3 months you can spend over there, and fewer than 31 working days in the UK. So then again, you will be a non UK resident. So you can simply go, do some work, come back. You can go on vacations, come back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if the criteria of any individual is in all of these 3 options, so he will be categorized as automatically not resident. Okay. Second test is the automatic UK test. Now here what is happening? If you are spending 183 days or more, so you are a UK resident. It means you are spending more than 6 months.
Yeah.
If your home is in the UK, yes, you are a resident working full time for 1 year. Yes, you are a UK resident then. So, criteria is very much distinguishing and very clear. Now, coming towards the ties test. This is for those people who are not going to meet above 2 tests. Like, you did not meet the automatic test as well as the overseas test. So, now the person is confused that what should I do? So, for this, we have the ties test. Now, what is here in this? You will have to basically see the days in the UK. If you are spending less than 60 days, you are automatically not, irrespective of whatever is your status. So it means every person can spend 15 days in the UK every year.
Okay. If they don't own a home there.
Yes. 16 to 45 days you have spent there. So you will be counted as a resident if you were previously resident, and if your 4 UK ties will meet for this year.
Mm-hmm.
And if your ties will not meet, or if you previously you have never been, now for example, I never been a resident over there, I went to 44 days. So I will be counted as automatically not resident.
Wait, what are UK ties?
I will tell you that they are here.
Okay.
So, you get these things, and if 183 or more criteria is very simple, like if you are spending, so you are a resident irrespective of your previous status.
Yeah.
Now the ties there. The 5 ties, okay? There are the 5 ties, out of which 4 will be met, so you will be categorized like, into a UK resident. And if you've spent more days, so you will be categorized into a resident if you are going to meet. Now, what is it? Your family should be there. You are married over there.
Okay.
Accommodation, again, your house, and you are living there like for more than 3 months. And this can include the home of your relative as well.
But which relative?
Close relative.
Like aunties and uncles, or only parents and sisters?
Question will only mention you this thing, that a close relative is there. Very clearly they will give you this.
So they will not define the relationship?
No, they will not.
Okay.
Work tie. You are doing some substantive work in the UK. Okay, 40 more days. So this also becomes a tie. So again, these are all the things like, we do in life. Your family, your work, your accommodation. 90-day tie. Having spent more than 3 months in the UK in either of the previous 2 tax years.
Okay.
Then country tie. You are spending more days in the UK than in any other country. So they will also see this thing. And this is only relevant when the person has been UK resident in the 3 previous years.
Okay.
So these are the ties.
This is very confusing. I don't know how to memorize it.
I will tell you. See, you just need to remember this thing first of all. See, this table is given in your exam.
Okay, no need to
Yeah.
memorize?
No, you only need to remember the ties.
Okay.
So you can simply make it as just like an acronym, that FAW 49C. You can remember it like this. 49C. So F is for family, A is for accommodation. Like that you can remember. 490C or something like that. Okay?
Yeah, 490C is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Now let's do this question so you will understand this. Okay.
Okay.
Anna is not previously resident in the UK. She was present for 42 days. Now what will happen? See, let's do first test.
What was the question again?
Okay.
Anna
was
is not
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And she is present in the UK
Not
for 40 days.
automatically not a resident.
Yeah. But how we are just going to see this? Let's do the first test now. So she
Okay.
was UK resident? No. If the
No.
individual was not UK resident in that 3 tax years and fewer than 46 days, so she's an
Yes.
overseas one. So she
Yes.
spent only 42 days. So let's see what examiner has given. She will, so how you have to select your options. She will automatically be treated as not resident as it is less than 46 days. And she was, so two things they see, your previous status and your current days.
Yeah.
Next, Ben spent 60 days working in the UK. While in the UK, see, this is his family home, means close relative.
Yeah.
So he's spending 60 days. Now let's see.
So he is a automatic, yes.
Wait.
No, not automatic.
Previous,
UK
they
tie.
have not given his previous status. Okay. So we will also ignore that thing. He's working for how many? 60 days he's working for. So they have, so we will do the ties test here because we are
Ties,
confused. Yeah. So basically he's spending 60 days means here. He will be counted as a resident if 3 UK ties meet. Okay.
Mhm.
So let's check the ties. Is it a spouse or something like that over there? No.
Yes.
Accommodation? Yes. Work tie? Yes. So 2 ties are meeting only, not 3.
Oh, okay.
So-
I get it.
Yeah. So he will be categorized as not resident.
Okay.
See. Okay.
Okay.
Charles was a UK resident and home over, working full time in 2023 to 2 years. He has been working for 2 tax years full time. He was a UK resident and he has a home as well.
Charles was a UK resident. Wait, let me read.
In
Hormonal
April
working.
2025, he purchased a property abroad where he stayed most of the year. Now, in next year, he's doing this thing that he has gone out of the UK, but his previous status has been of a resident. But in January to March, he spent 60 days in the UK and he was working as well. Staying at his home, which he had kept on. Charles has no family. So Charles is in the UK too many days to be automatically non, because of his overseas home in 9th month. He also will not be automatically UK resident. He has 3 ties. He has a home. He was doing work and 90-day ties as well, but he's not having family or country ties, and that's why he will be UK resident.
Okay.
Okay. And obviously, we also knew this thing by studying this question that he will be a resident. So if Charles had arranged his work over 30 days only, less than 40, so
Yeah.
he will then not have been counted.
Okay.
So these days are important.
Yeah.
And companies are also treated like this. So in company, we see that where was it incorporated? So if it is, incorporated in UK, it has an incorporation certificate of UK, then company is UK resident. If your central management and your control, your head office is in UK, you are a UK resident. So central management control and your incorporation. 2 things. This makes the decide whether company is a UK resident or not. A company is made in Pakistan, but head office is in UK, or control is over there. So it will be called as UK.
UK company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute. Azan is ongoing over here. I'll just simply mute my mic. You can read this thing till then. I will just 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Double taxation agreements. Now, these are done between the governments of the two countries that if a person is coming under the two countries, think they are earning in two countries, or they have a dual nationality or dual residence. So what should be done in that case? So double taxation agreements between contracting states aim to ensure that tax is paid only once. So if the countries are having a DTA, so they will specify. Okay. All right. So they simply, like, if there's no tax treaty that exists, so UK has the right, they will give you a relief if you will tell them your entire of your income, that where you have earned it or how. Okay, you need to communicate this thing to the government. So in your question as well, these things will be given to you.
But I didn't understand the last one.
Which one?
If the UK is, if the person is working in a country that doesn't have tax laws,
Yes.
then what will happen?
UK will give you the relief, huh? If you will tell them
So
that
I
I
will
have,
only be taxed in UK, no?
you will be taxed in UK, but you will not be double taxed. You don't need to pay
Yeah.
that country as well. So they will give you a
Okay.
tax credit. So it is calculated, like
Equivalent.
it will be lower of either your UK tax liability, or whichever tax will be lower, you will pay that only, not two. Your UK tax liability becomes £1,000, let's say, and your overseas liability is £500. So whichever is lower, you will pay that only.
That if the person works in a company in a country with no tax, right? Okay,
There
what
is
if
no
there
such country, by the way. There is no such country where you are not going to pay any tax, because it is this system is everywhere. Income tax, you pay like everywhere. There's no such country, like, where you are not you will not be charged or anything. Like, taxation system is everywhere.
But in the UAE we don't have income tax.
Oh yeah, right. You do not have it over here. So it simply basically means that whichever is the lower one. So even if you are having zero, so you will pay like no tax over there. Simple. They will give you a tax credit. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is like lower of your UK tax liability or the overseas income. So whichever is the lower one, you will pay that. So in case of a zero will be the lower one, so you will not pay that. It all depends upon your income source. What is it like? So for your exam perspectives, they have simply given you this rule that if and in UK, UAE and UK, they do have the double taxation agreement.
So we will follow the bullet points, pay tax in the
Exactly.
country
Yes.
of residence.
Yes. They are just giving it to you for that thing where no tax treaty is there.
Okay.
So wherever there is taxation system, UK has done the agreements with.
Okay.
That's why I was saying you this thing, that which country is there, like which there's no such thing to appear. Okay. So structure, I've told you this thing. If anyone thinks that HMRC has charged them something extra or something like that, you can go on and appeal as well, like a case. Okay, so there are
Yeah.
the court system over there which follows this thing. So how they can go first, it will go to first tier, then upper tier. So this is the hierarchy. This is all clear. All taxes can be self-assessed except inheritance tax. Okay. No dates are mentioned here, so this is not relevant. Now, in IST case, there's no self-assessment, so it simply means that you can't calculate your IST yourself. So you will have to disclose your information to HMRC, and then they will calculate the amount. Okay.
Wait, I don't get it.
Self-assessment means that you know your income tax rules. Okay. You can calculate your own tax yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So they are saying that you can calculate all of your taxes yourself except IST. So in IST, you have to go to HMRC, you have to give them all the information of your wealth, okay, person, the state and everything. And then from whatever source you are inheriting, and then HMRC will tell you that how much tax you have to pay.
Okay.
Okay. It's their responsibility. They have to issue all tax returns. They have to review those returns. They have to do the compliance checks. They have to collect the tax. They have to impose the fines, interest,
Do I have to
penalties.
memorize this?
This is just the responsibility of HMRC. Like what HMRC has to do. So it's their work, na, basically. It's not your work, it's not my work. It's the authorities' work to see all of these things. They have to
Yeah,
review.
but is this something to memorize for the exam?
Yeah.
Okay.
And MCQ
Just
can come up what is the responsibility of HMRC. So
okay, for
yeah.
these things, tell me because I'm noting down what to memorize, what to
Okay.
understand.
All right. Now the tax advisor's question will ask you as well, what is the responsibility of a tax advisor? Now just imagine you are an advisor. So what you need to do, you need to exercise your duties competently. You know, you have to like keep proper records of your dealings. You have to ethically give them the advices, suggestions, you know, all in accordance with the principles. You cannot forego these things, right? So you can't give them the ways to do tax evasion, okay? Because this will be a question mark on your integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like a generic
Yeah,
promise. Yeah. Now there are some situations where you just get a doubt, okay? Let's say some of them are doing any tax offenses, they are doing money laundering, and they are coming to you for some advices. So what you need to do them is that you need to advise the client that I'm no longer working for you. You will have to notify HMRC, okay? You have to prepare the accounts. You all need to collect those information. So in very professional manner, you have to basically say them no. And then you have to report as well. So it all depends upon the issue that you are going to face. So in your question, mostly money laundering comes up.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's see this example. Intention is to underpay the tax. So Anthony tells his tax advisor that he intends to underpay tax. Like he's coming to Anthony that please save my tax. So this would be tax evasion and a money laundering offense if he does so. So what should the tax advisor do? They should apply their professional body's ethical guidance that if I'm Anthony, if I'm the tax advisor, I will tell Anthony to comply with the law. Okay,
Yeah.
I will tell. So these are the simple things which will come in an MCQ.
Okay, this is logical.
Exactly. Tax evasion already told you. Tax avoidance already told you. Then these are the
But
rules.
they can ask their advisor for tax avoidance.
Yes, you can.
Tips.
Yes. For
This is
avoidance, you
legal.
can. Yeah, it's legal.
Okay.
Then there are some rules made up. So this is just for your knowledge that what is GAR. So this is anti-abuse rule or anti-avoidance legislation that was passed. It's just to help the tax professionals that how they should give the advices. Okay, this is just a bandwidth. So we have done this section number 8, where I have explained you the function and purpose of taxation in a modern economy. So you are clear economic objectives, social objectives, direct, indirect, capital, and revenue. Then we have studied the principal sources of revenue law and the practice. Okay, I've told you all of these things: ethical, professional approach, double taxation agreements. All of these things. So we are covered with section.
Yeah.
So we are done for today, and tomorrow if you want to have a class with me, same timing, we can have it, and that will be a longer class. So this will include income tax. I'll start with income tax. And by the way, we have done this thing as well, residence of the individual.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 topics basically we have covered today, and even this thing from corporation side as well, we have covered the residence of the company too. So these are all of the syllabus coverage that is covered in section 1. Like today we have done this all.
Yeah.
So you can read this summary quiz yourself, and let's have a quiz. Wait, let's have a quiz.
Can I see the quiz? Okay, so how did you go there again?
Quizzes here.
Okay.
Which of the following are both direct revenue taxes? Yes.
Okay, let me see. Direct is all except VAT. That I know. So ABC.
No, one option is correct.
Income and inheritance is no revenue. No, it's not revenue. Corporate and capital. No, income and national service. C.
Correct. So like you know the reason as well that why A, B, and D are not correct, right?
Yeah, I remember
Yes, that's good.
one
Just to repeat, just to
yeah.
repeat, income tax is a direct tax, but its IST is not a
Yes.
revenue tax. Corporation tax is a direct tax, but
It is
CGT is
direct.
not a revenue tax.
Yeah.
Again, value, this is like neither. Okay, this is not a
Yeah.
revenue or capital. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cameron has been resident in the UK in the previous 3 tax years. For the tax year, he has
Okay.
2 ties. So, what is the maximum number of days which Cameron could spend in the UK during the tax year if he hoped to be treated as not UK resident? So, you will simply open that table. So, do you have that table? You can open that if you have it.
Yes, I have it. Let
Yeah,
me open.
open that.
1 second.
Yeah.
I'll see. Don't tell me the answer yet. Okay, I have. So it is. I have to look at the ties. He said what? He has
No,
two
no, no, no,
ties.
no, no, no. See,
Hmm.
he was resident in the UK, so previous status is
It's
resident.
automatically, yeah.
He's telling you that he is having 2 ties in the UK.
Yeah.
But he's asking you that he don't want to be a UK resident. So how many days should he spend?
None.
Yeah.
Mm.
What will happen if he will spend 45 days? Will he be a resident or not?
Yes.
He will be a resident 45 days.
Yeah.
So then check for other days.
But I think he is already a resident.
Dear, he was a resident, but this year he
Oh,
don't
yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah.
be. Yeah,
So 45 days.
45 days.
As long as it's below 46. Okay.
Which
Which
of the
of the
following companies are resident in the UK? Company A is incorporated in the UK, but its central management and control is outside the UK. So is it a resident?
Yes.
No, it's not. Your
It's not?
control is outside the UK.
Ah, okay.
Check.
But they have a branch in the UK?
No, they don't have it.
What does incorporated then means?
Incorporation means it was born there, registered there at
Ah.
first. Company B is not incorporated in the UK, but its central management and control is in
Yes.
the UK. Yes, 2
Yes,
is there. So
two.
2. So it means option D is not. Company
Okay.
C and is incorporated in the UK and it's central. So 2 and 3.
Yeah, 2 and 3.
Okay, let's see. I think 1 will also be there because it is incorporated in the UK.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm marking 1, 2, 3. Which of the following is not a responsibility of a professional advisor when a client refuses to authorize disclosure of an irregularity in their tax affairs? So there's a client, you have asked him to disclose, so they are refusing. So what's not your responsibility? Advise the client, they are no longer acting for them. This is your responsibility?
No, my
Yes,
responsibility.
Yes. Notify HMRC?
My
Yes.
responsibility.
Consider whether any report is required. Yeah, respond in a professionally appropriate manner to any. So which one is not your
No,
responsibility?
D.
This one?
No, C. Consider whether any report is
Yeah.
required. Yeah.
Okay. This is very simple.
Which of the following statement is correct? Tax avoidance is no. Can be legal tax. Yes, B.
See, this one is wrong, and this one is
Cameron?
also wrong.
What about that one? Yeah.
I will
the
tell you. I will
44.
tell you where you have made a mistake. So this is, I think, 90 days might be the answer for this. Yes. Now listen. If Cameron spends 91 days or more in the UK, he will be treated as UK resident as he has 2 UK ties. The question was asking, what is the maximum number of days which Cameron
Can you
could...
scroll up a bit?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
He
Okay.
could spend if he hoped to be treated as not UK resident. So he was supposed to spend 90 days, only 90. Because if he would have spent more than 90, then he will become a UK resident. So he was
But
supposed,
that falls under automatic overseas number 3.
but he was already a resident now. So you don't need to check that thing. I will open up the table again. Wait.
Yeah.
Just let me do one thing. Open up this.
Okay.
Let's review others, then I'll come back to it. So this one was not your, no, this is not your responsibility that, on every of your client you are telling HMRC. Have they asked you? Like, unless and until there's something serious, there's something related to money laundering, then you can tell that. Otherwise, you don't need to inform HMRC of why you stop working for them. Okay, but this is your responsibility. In this question, he is a resident in the previous 3 tax years. Okay, so we should read this thing at first. So he was not a UK resident. He was a UK resident. Yes, he was. So individual was a UK resident in the previous 3 tax year, and fewer than 16 days are spent in the UK. Okay. So basically the thing is that it's in UK. Okay. For the tax year 25-26, he is having 2 ties. It means when they are talking about the ties, then we should skip these tests. Okay. Directly, we will go to the ties. Now, he was previously resident. He is a resident if his 2 UK ties are being met.
Okay.
Okay. So, this year, he will be categorized as a resident if he will spend days between 91 to 120.
Okay.
So, how many days can he spend easily? 90 days.
90.
Because for this, he will need a 3rd tie, which you didn't have. So, that's why 90 days. Okay.
Okay.
Now you can do your own questions or own things like that. And by the way, this topic is only examined in the MCQs. It doesn't come in any of the CRQs. You don't need to write anything in it.
Okay, chapter 1 is all in the MCQs?
Yes. 2 till 4 marks comes up only.
Okay.
Okay, so it's the least time you should give it to that, and the least even the practice thing too. But if you are done with the study hub like this and you are securing 100% in it, then that's good. So
Yeah.
we will do income tax computations. Okay, tomorrow we will start with this, and this is like a lengthy topic, so we will cover up all of these things and same approach. So if you are satisfied with my teaching style and approach, so this is the way I teach basically.